let's start multiplying and dividing. It's very similar to yesterday, just a little bit more. But hopefully now that you know you don't know how to do it, maybe you can ask questions today. Maybe after today you'll understand. Okay, before we do our big ones, let's just review regular multiplying and dividing fractions. So 4/3 times 9/16. How do you multiply fractions? Yeah, you can go across the top. So I'm going to show you two ways. If I multiply across the top, I get 36 over 48. What does that reduce to? 6 over 3 over 4. Yeah. Okay, so you can do that. The other way you could do it is you could simplify top and bottom. So you can simplify top and bottom this way, or top and bottom this way. Okay, so if I reduce the 3 and the 9, 3 goes into 3 once, 3 goes into 9 3 times. You all know how to do this, right? Yes, hopefully. Same thing across this way. 4 goes into 4 once, 4 goes into 16 4 times, and then I can still multiply across the top. 1 times 3 is 3, 1 times 4 is 4. Okay, some of the ones we do today, you're not going to want to multiply because you're going to get some crazy big numbers. You don't have a calculator. Why? Who made that rule?
There's not been one moment in my life where I said I don't have a calculator.
It's all over algebra too crazy. But it's not all units. Like, it's just some of the units you don't actually need a calculator. You don't really need one.
Yes, you do. I mean, if you
don't.
Okay,
Okay, on this one, I'm dividing a fraction. What do I do? Yes, you flip the second one. Yeah, but as soon as I show you these two, then there's X's and A's and B's, and you can't do the calculator anyways. So flip the second one. This becomes 1 over 10 times 15 over 1. Flip the second fraction. When you're dividing, you flip whatever's behind the fraction. Behind the division sign. Okay, I can reduce that. What goes into both of these? 5. So 2 and 3. Multiply across the top. Multiply across the bottom. So the first 3 that we're going to do are a little bit icky only because there's not a lot of you can't make them pretty. So you'll see what I'm talking about. You don't like the word pretty? Oh, icky. Oh, the answer? Okay, number 1. Negative 4x squared over 9 times 27 over 12x squared. So, just like yesterday, if you can factor first, factor first. But these first 3 we're going to do, you can't factor. Because they're all just monomials. And this is what I mean when I say you might not want to multiply across the top and across the bottom because you're going to get big numbers. So I'm going to simplify what I can first. What can we simplify? The what?
27.
The 27 and 9 or the 12? Either one, it doesn't matter. You can do this and this or this and this. You want to do these?
Yeah.
Okay. So what goes into that?
3.
3, which gives me 9, and 3 goes into this, which gives me 4. What else can I simplify? Can I cross out the 9s?
Yeah.
Yes, I can. Can I cross out the 4s?
Yeah.
Yes, I can. Now be careful, there's a negative here. And this is why these first 2 that we're going to do, you have to be careful because when you start crossing everything out, it's hard to find what's left. So some people don't like these kinds of problems. So I have a negative, I'm going to write what I have left on top. I have a negative 1x squared on top. And on the bottom, I have just x4. So sometimes if I'm crossing out too many things, I just stop and I'll write what's on top and what's on bottom, and then I can simplify more. So how do I simplify these? Subtract the exponent. So if I have 2 on top, how many is left on bottom?
2.
2. So what's left on top? Negative 1 over x squared. Oh, we need to talk about restrictions. What can x not equal? 0. That was easy.
Yeah, but it's not always going to be that easy.
True. But remember, if you have on the bottom, if you have x minus 3 and x plus 4 and an x, cannot equal 0. This is x cannot equal 3. This is x cannot equal -4. That's simple. It's not super terrible. Okay, number 2. This one's really ugly, so be careful when you write it. 6mn squared over 14mt times. We're only going to do, like, we'll do one more after this, and then we'll move into number. I don't like this. 2p4n2 over pn2. Yeah, I've already crossed out my stuff. I can't even see on my paper. Yeah, that's right. And then there's one more.
What?
You mentioned this. You guys sound like my second period. You're so boring. It was ugly. I didn't lie to you.
Is next semester easier? You say it's hard. Why did you ask that question? I want simple.
Right, you're immune to change by then.
Okay, let's do the restrictions first before we do anything else. On bottom, I have M, P, and N. So what can M not equal? 0. What can P not equal? 0. And what can N not equal?
0.
That's it. Okay. Let's just simplify our numbers first, and then we'll combine the variables, because else it gets crazy. So what numbers can I simplify? You can do top and bottom above each other, or across, or all the way on the end. It doesn't matter.
6
and 14. So this becomes a 3. This becomes a 7. What else? You can do the ends if you want to right now. I'm going to wait and do it all at once, all the letters at once. Let's just do the numbers. Any other numbers? Yeah, I've got 3 here and a 3 here. Okay, so across the top, what's my coefficient when I multiply everything on the top? 6. 3 times 2. 3 times 2 is 6. Okay, let's count our m's. I've got 1 here and 2 here. So I have 3 m's on top. How many n's do I have? On top, 6. And how many p's? 9. Does everyone see? I'm just adding exponents there. Over, what's my coefficient on bottom? 7. How many m's? 3. N's?
2.
And p's? 2. 3. 2. Oh my gosh. 2. 2. Okay, so if you get something big like this, this is what I would do. Simplify your numbers, so you don't have to multiply anything crazy. But now I can see everything nice and easy. So 6 and 7 don't reduce. My n3s cancel completely. How many n's do I have left on top? 4. How many p's do I have left on top? 7. Just subtract. So final answer, 6 n4 p7 over 7. There's that, and then there's my restrictions. Doing okay? Okay, let's do one more weird one like that with some division. Yes, let me go back.
Okay, for restriction, if
Yes.
it's not in parentheses where it's like x minus 3, x plus 4, it's just always going to be not equal to 0.
Yes. So as soon as it's with, like, this one's by itself, so that will be 0. And it doesn't matter if I put something in front of it like a 2 or change the exponent to like a 5. There's nothing adding or subtracting, so it's 0. As soon as I do something like this, then it becomes a different number.
And you take all your restrictions after you've simplified all you can.
No, do it before you cross things out. So like number 1, I did it after and I shouldn't have. This one I did it because as soon as I cross things out, if I look at this, there's only a 7 on the bottom, so really there would be no restriction. So go to the original, or in a second we factor everything, like if this was the bottom, after you factor it. Before you, like if I have an x minus 3 on top here, I want to do my restrictions before I cross these out so I don't forget that one. Any other questions on 2? Okay. Let's do one more weird one right on. Number what do I need to do first? Flip them. Flip them, flip them. What do I flip? Which ones do I flip? I don't flip everything. The last two. You flip the one after the division. So I'm going to flip this, and I'm going to flip this. Bless you. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite this. Because I'm dividing now. Okay, so you have to be careful. The first two are multiplying, so we can just start right away. Anytime it's after division, you flip it. So 7x squared over 9y times, now I'm going to flip it. So I change it to multiplication and I flip. 15y squared over 4x. Same thing here, times 6xy over 35. Yeah, we'll just change to a multiplication, yeah, instead of division. Okay, do we have any restrictions on this one?
Yes. 0.
X cannot equal 0. Y cannot equal 0. Perfect. There's the restrictions. Alright, what can we reduce? 15. Oh, by 5, yeah. By 5?
Yeah.
Yes, perfect.
All right.
So 5 doesn't do that. Sorry. 3, no, I'm sorry. And 7.
God.
Sorry. I was thinking 15 times 2 is 30. And I was like, no, that doesn't work.
No.
I hear 6 and 9, yes. So this will become a 2 and a 3. The 7s. 7 and 7 go away. I hear 3 and 3 also go away. Did I lose anyone? The 2 and the 4. So that goes away and this becomes a 2. Did I go too fast?
Yes.
Okay, so I did the 15 and the 35 by 5. So it became a 3 and a 7. Then there was a 7 here and a 7 here. So the 7s completely go away. Then there was a 3 and a, 6 and a 9. So it was a 2 and a 3. I reduced by 3s. And then we reduced these 3s. And then we did the 2 and the 4. If you don't like that,
I did it a different way though.
that's okay. As long as you have what's left on the top and on the bottom. So like I have no numbers left on the top. I have on the top x 3, y 3, and on the bottom I have 2 x y.
I gotcha.
Here.
All right. Sure.
Yes.
I believe that.
Yeah, you mean like right here and here?
Yeah.
Yes. So you can go ahead and cross out. If you see, guys, listen. If you see this x and this x and you want to go ahead and cross them out, go ahead. I put it together because sometimes I start to lose what I'm doing. Like, let me show you this one real quick. So here, like when I'm doing it in pencil, it's hard for me to see what's left. So sometimes just stop where you're at, multiply out. Like here I did the 15 and the 30, then I reduce that. So if you start to lose where you're at, just stop and multiply across the top, or you can keep crossing out, I don't care. Okay, so now I'm here, and I'm going to now reduce my x's. This becomes x2, and this becomes y2. So x2, y2 over 2. So you can simplify everything before you multiply it, or you can do a little bit and multiply it, doesn't matter. Or you can multiply these numbers, 9 times 4 times 35, and then reduce later. Okay, number 4. So let's do some regular factoring ones now. These are a little bit simpler, if you can factor. Then that's what we need to work on. Me? I don't lie.
That's a
lie. Alright, number 4. So this is like yesterday where you're going to want to factor first. This is the first 3 didn't have any factoring in them. So this is why I say if you're struggling with factoring, come see me because it doesn't change today, tomorrow, and Thursday are all factoring. Okay, so the first one just stays x minus 3, x minus 5. What can I factor the top here to be? Good. X minus 5, x minus 2. Can we get the bottom yet? Good. Positive 7, negative 3. So as soon as I have everything factored, I'm going to do my restrictions. Remember, restrictions only, we care about only the bottom. It doesn't matter if zero's on the top. I just care about the bottom. So what can x not equal here? Positive 5. How about here? Negative 7 and positive 3. Doesn't matter the order. You just do a comma like that if you want. Okay. So then what can I cross out? X minus 3, x minus 5. So left over would be x minus 2 on top, x plus 7 on the bottom. Okay, number 5. Alright, what would you do first on this?
Flip it.
Yeah, flip it. So this is going to get flipped. So I'm going to factor, when I rewrite, I'm going to factor. So what can I take out of this top left part? 2. So I get 2 times x plus 1. What can I take out of the bottom? 5 times x minus 3. Times, because I'm going to flip it, so now it becomes multiplication. So x minus 3 is on top, and I can't do anything with that. What can I take out of this here? Y. Can I factor that? X squared minus 1? Yes, I can. What does that factor to be? Good. X plus 1 and minus 1. So I'm just going to rewrite that bottom part right underneath. Okay, so let's do our restrictions first. I don't care about the 5. So here, what can x not equal? 3. And then I move over here. Now I'm at a y. What can y not equal? Careful. 0, right? This y is all by itself. Y cannot equal 0. X cannot equal 1 or negative 1. There's my restrictions. What can we cross out? X minus 3, x plus 1. So on top we just have a 2, right? And on the bottom we have 5y, don't forget that 5, and then x minus 1. Number 6. Let me try to get 1 or 2 more with you guys real quick. We have a little bit of time to start. We'll do this one and then I'll get one on your homework with you. So number 6.
Oh, no. What are you doing?
That's a nice
Oh,
one.
stop that.
Like it's the same thing as the division symbol.
I just don't like it.
But there's too many divisions.
I know.
That's a bit.
It's just a
Pyramid
fraction.
scheme.
A fraction on the top and a fraction on the bottom. Well, that's just the problem.
Oh, okay.
So what do you flip? Only this. Yeah, this whole thing gets flipped because I'm dividing by it.
Wait.
We just write it up.
Yeah, go ahead. So when I flip it, I'm going to flip it up here and multiply, and I'm going to flip it. So I'm going to put 3x squared minus 27 on top, and 6x plus 18 on bottom. It's called a complex fraction. Didn't we do complex fractions?
No.
We did.
No.
Say no.
Okay, so let's factor. There's a lot of factoring here. What can I factor this top left to be? 3, x plus 3, x plus 3. Okay, so here, this part right here is right here. X plus 3, x plus 3. Over, what can I take out on the bottom here? A 2. And I'm going to go right here. I'm left with x squared minus 9. How does that factor? Yes, so x plus 3, x minus 3. Times, the ones that just get a little bit longer. Okay, what can I take out of this? A 3, and I'm left with x squared minus 9, which factors. I guess you could have left it x squared minus 9. It would have canceled. And what can I take out of this bottom right? A 6, and I'm left with x plus 3. Lots of 3s. Okay, let's do our restrictions. X cannot equal
-3 or
-3 or positive 3, that's it. So let's do some canceling here. Plus 3 and plus 3 cancel. Plus 3 and plus 3 cancel, or that one, it doesn't matter, just not all of them. X minus 3 and x minus 3 cancel. So on the top I have 3 times x plus 3, sorry, I'm running out of room, over 12. Does that reduce?
Yes.
Yes. 1 over 4. So x plus 3 over 4. It's a lot of factoring. Okay, look at I think the back of your homework. Well, not huge, I don't know what comes out.
11 looks fanciful.
Number 10. Right here, number 10. That's like what we just did, the complex fraction. Here, this is your fraction bar right here, your big one. So you have this fraction on top, this fraction on bottom is over what? 1. So you're just going to take that bottom one, rewrite it, and flip it up here. That's all. It just looks weird. Okay, so let's talk about 11. Number 11, you have one division sign. So this right here is over 1. This is the only one that you flip. You don't flip this one, you only flip the middle. Factor everything out, and then things will cancel. Okay? If you come after school or before school, you are welcome to check your answers. Don't just bring that tomorrow and turn it in hoping it's correct. Ask your friends. Like, check your answers at least with the friends. It'll be better than nothing.
Is it on your website? Yeah.
How's the last
That
one?
one is
But it's Chloe's
Chloe
Chloe can't check online to check it.
Hard app or like
Hard of
But I could do that if I come in. I mean, I
Or
should
after
just
school.
after she's here.
No, but she's
What'd you say?
Sarah. She's not coffee.
Hard app
I
class.
would- I'll work on
If you're
that.
Is it hard app?
So like if you contest, you don't do that.
You might as well just turn through and use the philosophy.
So, but like, where did they just chill? Did they
Yeah,
what they calibrate?
Guys, use this time right now to work so you can ask questions. You have 10 minutes. That's a lot of time.
Yes,
I'll go look.
Okay, I'll just make sure you get
10 minutes is a long time to get a couple of these done. Okay, so because we're doing fractions, we can't divide by 0. So I can't have 0 on the bottom. Alright, so we're trying here. Okay, so you have what variable? You don't have a variable on the bottom.
Now we start.
how.
Yes.
I can like that. I can see that right.
What?
Back with 0.
Why not work?
Restrictions. Let's do restrictions first.
Like, she's split him into, well, there's technically yeah, so I got to do that.
X is on the bottom.
No, we did it before.
Oh God.
Yes. I really don't do it. Guys, number 1, there is not a restriction on number 1 because there's no variables on the bottom. Once you flip it, there's just numbers. There's no restriction on number 1.
Why don't we just make that 50x times I guess you can multiply.
No, it has to be top and bottom.
Did you like multiply them two?
Yeah, because I couldn't find anything
So what did it divide by? Okay, the second one also is me. There's 1 over 3. So that's 2 over 3. You have time to sit at home like Civilized. Yeah, now it's test tomorrow. It comes at 6 o'clock for your Okay, you got -1 over this by that flip.
No, look, so you get it here.
Oh!
Alright, reduce.
That's
Let's take this X out.
it's not that you flip it.
So these two X's.
This is like your
Take this Y out of the picture, so that's just straight 1 versus Y. Take this one there, so that's 1.
So it's 1 over that.
And then you have 5. Take that, look at 3. What's 3? Crap, we gotta cross everything out.
So we usually get like an average, probably like 100% memorization. Unless I can from 60 like honestly, for some reason, that equals 0. That equals nothing.
You can flip that.
Or the.
Flip that.
Wait, what did you get?
Jared, look, I discovered. Jared, look. I discovered. That's correcting the fact. That's what I find out. If I flip it, there you go. Okay.
Yeah, but I just look at it as. So when you're
That's the next one. TC theory plus J plus
No, you can't, because that means plus, not minus.
I'm gonna write it on it. That's how I discovered. Also, my fellow
Yeah.
Jared, like,